So ayahuasca is a substance that has been deemed as, you know, a teacher plant in the Peruvian traditions. So what this plant does is it causes you to, the best word to describe it is to have ego death. So if you could just imagine everything that we do or say sometimes is based on our ego.
Yeah.
We defend ourselves, we say certain things because, you know, it makes us sound good, or, you know, it makes us feel better. You know, when you're on ayahuasca, you're thinking, everything just becomes so clear to you. You see things as how they are.
So it takes away that
It takes away that ego. It takes away all the ego. It like destroys it, right? And then so you're so clear, you're much more clearer about all the things that have defined you, all the things that you thought that you felt, or how this person was like to you, or how your relationship was like to, you know, so and so, whoever that you think of. Just every single aspect of your life comes into the light. And now it's just like in the raw. That's how ayahuasca was.
So do you have to think about these things, or it just happens? Like, how does it begin?
How does it begin?
Yeah, how does it begin?
So basically, it's like ayahuasca has a substance of DMT in there, and DMT is what you produce. It's a chemical in your brain that you would produce, you know, during when you're about to die. I think when you're about to die, or when you're giving birth. At least that's what I've read. So basically, when you drink the tea, up to an hour later, you would start feeling the effect, and the effect come on as like you just get into this trance, because the shaman would sing his songs, and these songs are called icaros, and these songs that transports you into this realm of,
so it's like a different realm.
Yeah, into like a different realm of energy, of being, right? And that's where you're completely just, it's like going from one theme to another, and you just jump from this world into a different reality. About 5 hours.
5 hours.
Not long. 5 hours. Before you know it, it's like the end.
It's the end.
And then you start talking to each other about the things you experience and feel. Some people would just be so tired and so drained, and they just need to really
take some time to process it.
They need to process it, so they'll just, you know, go to sleep or something like that. I stay up because I like to. I'm like, wow, I can think so clearly right now in this state. Like tomorrow morning, obviously, you just kind of like get back down to this level, this human level, where, you know, your ego slatches onto you again, and, you know, things like that. It's amazing how different you can feel when when these substances.
So give me an example of something that you saw before and after.
What I saw, I didn't see a lot of.
No, not like what you saw, but like, you know, like one thing that how you saw something one way, and then when you saw it, when you're on it, you saw it a different way.
I kind of like have a deeper understanding of why people are the way they are, and I've kind of come to more of an acceptance of how they behave, and where did that come from, and why, and things like that. Yeah, it gives you a sense of understanding, a deeper understanding, forgiveness. There's reasons why someone acts as how they act, and you know, why they behave a different way. It's all due to their past experience. We're all just basically a bunch of past experiences. So the things, whatever you experience, you become. And therefore, that's why I love traveling solo, because I'm constantly renewing myself, adding on to things, and kind of getting rid of parts of me that no longer serves me. And I think that's the most liberating thing about traveling solo, and for long periods of time too. You really, really get out there and form a new self, and just, it's beautiful. It's great.
So what's the first thing that you feel when you take it?
The first thing that you feel when you take it is that...
Like, do you feel like you leave
that you feel like you want to chuck up. Because it tastes like horrible. I did chuck up the first time when I took it in the jungle. I chucked up, but it was towards the end when it was almost over.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I chucked up so much. Like, I remember just standing there and chucking out everything I had in my stomach over the rail.
Yeah.
You know, like I was chucking so much, and I was so out of it that night. It wasn't a controlled ceremony for me at all. The first time, every time I drink it for the first time again, I have no control. I go through that. Where
that's what I heard though.
Like, I have like no control over the medicine at all. Like, I don't know what the hell's happening. You know, it just kind of like takes you and shakes you around, and it's a scary experience. It's scary for me, you know. Well, that's for me. For some people, it doesn't work on them the first time. It really depends on different people and how their body reacts to it. So this is why...
because you went through that the first time, were you like, oh shit, I don't want to go through it again, it might happen the second time? Or you were like, you knew...
No, I kind of like, because the very first time I took it, you know, during my 6-month trip, that first time I took a really small amount, and it was just... I just felt nice. It was just like a liberating feeling. There were no messages to it. There was nothing meaningful that I saw, or, you know, anything. I just felt like a huge sense of connectiveness with everyone around me. Like, I felt as if, you know, all my friends and relatives and everyone in my life was just right there in front of me. Like, we were going through this thing together, and we were laughing with each other, connecting with each other. Like, our souls were talking to each other. It was crazy. Even though, like, you know, some of you are all the way here in Melbourne, I felt some of you here with me. I'm not gonna name anyone, but, you know, it was...
I was gonna like, sorry, did you make the list?
No, it was really beautiful. It was beautiful. And then, like, right at that time, I thought to myself, damn, I wish my friends were here to experience this with me right now. How beautiful it would have been. It would, you know, it would be. And you know what? That's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna take some of you with me, and you will know what I'm talking about.
So were there people like went in like groups when you went?
No, there were a lot of like
just singles,
solo travelers.
A
lot of solo travelers, actually. A lot of solo travelers.
How many people?
There were couples and stuff.
How many people in each ceremony?
About 5, 6.
Yeah, so a small group.
Yeah, small groups. Yeah, and people were there for all kinds of different reasons.
So the first, like, you might be doing it one day with one group, and then the next day you might have a different group.
The next day you might have new people joining.
Yeah. Okay. So they did 3. So how many did you do? 3. You did 3. So why did you stop at 3? Why didn't you do a 4th one?
Because I felt why did I only do 3? Because I felt as if I had enough. Like there wasn't
anything more that did you?
Yeah, exactly. Like I had my answers, and basically.
So would you do it again then?
Yeah, I would. There's always more learning, more discoveries, and it's endless. Heaps of people that would go back and do it once every 2 years, just as a cleanse, just as to reinforce themselves in that moment right now, you know, themselves in 2 years' time, themselves in 3 years' time. And you check to see, you know, if your health is all good. If this is just like not checking your body, but it's like a health check for your mind. For your soul. I call it, a health check. Going to get a health check for your soul. I absolutely loved Huaraz.
Yeah.
Now, Huaraz is located in the north of Peru. You can take a flight there from Lima. It's only a couple of hours away, and we hiked through this place called the Cordillera Blanca, which stands for White Mountain Range. Huaraz National Park. I don't know how to say it.
National Park, yeah.
The Huaraz National Park, right? And the trek that I did went on for 5 days, and every day you were presented with a different theme. So I joked about it on one of my Instagram posts and said that, you know, a different theme. It's almost like you are living in a simulation, and you're just like, one day you're waking up and you see, like, you know, huge white mountains and you know, that just overshadows the whole entire area, and you're just walking in this endless rows of white snow-capped mountains, and then the next day you'll be walking along streams of river and you see like mules walking past and
So
cows.
it's like a game.
Yeah,
It's like a
it
game.
feels like you're in a fantasy game.
A fantasy world,
and you're like basically in a game, in a console
Yeah,
game, and you're
yeah,
walking
yeah.
through these, you
That's
know,
pretty cool, that's pretty
alleys.
cool.
It's crazy,
Like a full
crazy.
adventure.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But the altitude wasn't. The altitude part wasn't easy climbing
So
up.
all these places are in like high altitude, yeah?
Yes,
All
they're
the
high
towns.
altitude. So the highest we went up to was like, I think 5,000 something.
But do you get used to it after a while?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us was sick, except one person
Yeah.
on the trip was sick, but the rest of us got used to it, and we responded quite well to the conditions.
Did you have to take tablets?
No, I didn't personally take any tablets. So I would recommend, if you were going to do, you know, a trek like that, just give yourself like 2 days at least in that city
Each
or that
place,
town,
yeah.
just to acclimatize.
Yeah. I read that somewhere too.
Yeah, so you would sleep in tents, you know, it's like freaking minus whatever degrees at night, and by 9 o'clock everyone's inside their tents and you're just sleeping and you just hope that you won't freeze to death. No, I'm joking. It's not that too bad. Okay, maybe the first night was like that, but all the other nights were fine. We were lucky enough to be presented with really beautiful weather on all the days. There were no rain, not much wind. It was just beautiful. So the best time to go would, I would say, around July. You know, it's on and off, so depending if you're lucky, but
Did it snow?
no, it didn't snow.
Did you go to the snow?
No, I didn't go to the snow. I didn't go to snow this time, no. Just felt like I wanted to wear this poncho. Gotta be in my zone.
So what would you miss most about Peru?
I would have to say the cheap meals and
Yeah?
transportations. I
How
mean,
much
things
is a meal? Like $2?
a meal would be like 4 or 5 Australian dollars, and you'll get like 3 course, you know, entree,
really?
main, and
What's your
a
favorite
drink.
dish? What was your favorite dish?
My favorite dish. A lot of the restaurants there have the same main kind of what you call a menu option, which is basically set items for lunch or dinner, and usually they'll have like lomo saltado, which is like stir-fried beef, or stir-fried beef with rice and vegetables like onions and chilies and stuff like that, and they'll give you like a healthy drink which is made of one of their 1,000 variety of plants, healthy plants, so one of those, and then they'll usually give you a dessert like, you know, jelly, paper airplane jelly, that's what we would call it, or, you know, fruits. They have a lot of fried rice called chifa. This is what they call Chinese restaurants in Peru, chifa. You know, they don't have all the Chinese items like we do over here, like spring rolls and shark fin soup and things like that. No, nothing like that. It's just basically fried rice.
Pretty much one dish.
Yeah, like fried rice with peas and ham.
So what's the most
or, like,
exotic thing you ate?
The most exotic thing I ate. Yeah, I tried eating alpaca, like a dish of that. The meat was, I didn't, let's just say I didn't really enjoy it.
Okay.
Like, I just felt bad.
Yeah, because it was helping you the whole
Yeah.
time. And then you ate him.
No, not someone that, not an animal to help me carry my bag, right? Relax. Yeah. How did I know where to go? Okay, to be honest, I did not do any research prior to my trip. I just knew where I was going to spend some time, and then from there,
When you got there, you just...
when you get there, you just kind of like make it up as you
there
go.
for such a long time, so what do you do? Like, you can't be like traveling the whole time.
Yeah, obviously I didn't travel the whole time. So for the first month, I did the ayahuasca retreat with my friend, and then the second month, I went to Cusco.
Was that always your plan to do the ayahuasca?
Yes. So that was my original plan. I just had 3 things in mind. 1 month in Iquitos, 1 month in Cusco, and then the 3rd month would just be whatever comes, right? So I stuck with my plan. I spent 1 month in Iquitos, 1 month in a bit more than a month in Cusco, doing a workaway at a travel agency. Obviously, I wanted to learn about, you know, the inner culture of the industry and what it was like, whether it was viable for me to do something like that, you know, start bringing people from Australia as a starting point to explore this beautiful country that I fell in love with. During the last 2 weeks and a bit, I traveled all around the north coast of Peru. So every day I actually covered like about 7 different towns in 2 weeks. So every day or every second day I was on either a bus or a van, a minivan, or some kind of transportation going from one place to another. It was quite exhausting, but it was so adventurous in the sense that every day you're waking up in a different place with a different feel and you just up and go, up and go. Okay, so if you were only going to have 2 weeks in Peru, I would really recommend
O nana wangu, o papa wangu, kamene dorodito. O nana wangu, o papa wangu, kamene dorodito. Tentaremos canchiku, narunaisito, inade de dande. Tentaremos canchiku, narunaisito, inade de dande. O nana wangu, o papa wangu, kamene de orodito. O nana wangu, o papa wangu, kamene de orodito. Tentaremos canchiku, narunaisito, inade de dande. Tentaremos canchiku, narunaisito, inade de dande.